It was a dark and stormy night. Indeed it is. A perfect evening for a horror novel. Well, it's now June of 2023. Somehow, time seems to be getting away from me faster and faster with each passing day. But regardless, I have just got the June 2023 Nightworms package. For those of y'all who don't know, Nightworms is the horror book subscription service. Every month they send me at least 2 horror novels. Frequently there's a signed book plate or something to add a little bit of extra value, and there's also some kind of goodie bag that comes with some other little stuff. It's a wonderful service. I always seem to like what I get, and on this channel I open them up and discuss with y'all as I find what I've got inside my package. And so that's what we're doing today. I'm going to open up this package. While I do so, let me just remind you to please do all those YouTube things like subscribe and like this video, etc., etc. Such things help quite a bit when it comes to growing this channel and helping me to keep making videos for y'all. This is a tough one to get into. The books are right near the seam of the package and I don't want to damage anything. Anyway, carrying on, also check down in the What's It where I will leave links to all of my various projects, as well as purchase links should you be interested in picking up any of these books for yourself. That way you know where you can go, you can get copies for yourself. You can get some wonderful reading material while supporting some independent authors perhaps, and certainly supporting this channel. Anyway, the package is now open. I can see there's some books inside. Let's get right to it. I'm sure the only thing y'all really care about is to see the books themselves. So the first one is a tiny little book, and that's Shooting Star by Joe R. Lansdale. This is a book with which I'm unfamiliar. It is an author, however, with which I am, or with whom I should say, I am very familiar. I've been a Joe Lansdale fan for, I was going to say years, but honestly it's been decades at this point. Some of you may know him as the author of Bubba Hotep, which is one of my favorite stories and one of my favorite films ever. If you don't know Bubba Hotep, I'm not going to say stop this video and go watch it now because that would really screw with my results in the YouTube algorithm, but as soon as you finish this video, go and read and or watch Bubba Hotep. Anyway, I love Joe Lansdale's work. I don't know this particular one. As you can see, it's a tiny little book. It's more of a, not even really a novella, maybe a novelette or maybe a longish short story. But let's read the description on the back and see what Lansdale has in store for us this time. The description says, John Shaw just wanted to go fishing and live off the land. Now he is one of only a few survivors involved in a horrific crash between a locomotive and a flying saucer. Stranded in an unforgiving environment, desperate to survive, he and the remaining passengers must outrun and outsmart the alien life forms that are picking them off one by one. Packed into a tightly woven ripping yarn, Shooting Star is a beautifully told story of survival and wit as the clash between man and invader intensifies and the end of the human race looms near. Sounds quite intriguing. Honestly, if you put Joe Lansdale's name on it, the description doesn't even really matter to me. I'm going to read it and I'm pretty damn sure I'm going to love it. So I'm really excited. Even though it's a tiny one, really excited to dive into Shooting Star by Joe R. Lansdale. That brings us to the second book, which is substantially larger, and that is also related to Joe R. Lansdale. This is Joe R. Lansdale, The Drive-In Multiplex. This one, I still have not read it. It's a new book to me. It's a fairly new book, period. This is an anthology. It's edited by Christopher Golden and Brian Keene, based on the Joe R. Lansdale Drive-In series. Let me just read the description and it'll probably explain it a little bit better than I can. It says, in 1988, Joe R. Lansdale's The Drive-In launched onto the fiction scene and left an indelible mark, influencing generations of genre-spanning writers. In honor of this groundbreaking novel, 21 of those writers paid tribute to Lansdale with all new stories and novellas set in the bizarre and terrifying universe created by the champion mojo storyteller his own self all those years ago. In this quintessential anthology, not to be missed, Lansdale returns, and the stories are wilder and darker than ever. Christopher Golden and Brian Keene, who cite Lansdale as an integral influence in their careers, have curated an incredible lineup featuring some of the finest storytellers in the field today. So, there you go. This is based on Joe R. Lansdale's The Drive-In, but it's not a standalone work, it's an anthology. It's not even edited by Lansdale, it's more of a tribute. But I'm really excited. Christopher Golden, Brian Keene, Joe R. Lansdale are all huge names in the horror world. And if we look at the list of contributors, we see, I'm not going to read all of them, but we see quite a few others. We see Josh Mallerman, Elizabeth Massey, Gary A. Braunbeck, Mary Sangiovanni, Laird Barron, Chet Williamson, Stephen Graham Jones. I'm leaving out a ton of people just because I don't want to take time to read them all, but many giants in the horror world. Anthologies are always wonderful because even if you don't enjoy every story, and frankly, I never do tend to enjoy every story in an anthology, and that would be a rare anthology indeed. But I almost always find something to like, and with this many wonderful names behind it, and particularly inspired by Joe Lansdale, pretty sure this is going to be a good one. So I'm excited about both of these, well, Lansdale story and Lansdale inspired anthology. This is a good month for Joe Lansdale. But if you've been following this channel or this series of videos, or if you've subscribed to Nightworms, or if you kind of know anything about what we've done with the Nightworms stuff in the past, you know we're not done yet. There's more in this little pouch. There's always the goodie bag. This time we begin by something that seems not to fit in the goodie bag, and that is this wonderful thing. This is from the Bones Coffee Company. It is called What the Fluff. This is a packet of ground coffee. Does it say anything about what the flavor actually is? It says it's a cotton candy flavored coffee, which is intriguing to me. I'm not usually much of one for flavored coffees. I prefer my coffee to taste like coffee most of the time, but I've had Bones Coffee before and they make a pretty good product, so I'm curious to try this one. Let me see if I can stick my nose on this little vent here and see what it smells like. Can't really get much of a scent from it, the pretty small hole, but it smells like some, well, coffee of course, and I can detect hints of the cotton candy flavor. I am intrigued, and it is, as I said at the beginning, a dark and stormy night, so seems like a good evening to brew some hot coffee and perhaps drink it while reading one of these books. And then we have the goodie bag proper. That's the last thing in the pouch. And this has always got little things, but they're usually fun little things. So let's see what's in here. Inside of here, the first thing to come out is the bookmark. There's always a bookmark. It indicates that this month's theme is At the Drive-In, which seems appropriate. And it says this is a Nightworms production, June 2023. As usual, it gives the month and the theme for the Nightworms package. I've built up quite a collection of these little bookmarks and have actually started using them to mark my page, believe it or not. The next thing is our usual little slip that just tells us all of the things that are meant to be included in the package. And it mentions, welcome to Pandy Press, an advertisement on the back, which is apparently a new press. And I notice, I believe they published both of these books. Yes, Pandy Press on both of these books. So we have a new publisher publishing what seems to be some pretty promising stuff. So maybe check them out. Carrying on, we find an autographed book plate to go along with Shooting Star. I have already got some books autographed by Joe Lansdale, but wonderful to turn this into an autographed copy and add that to my collection. So I'm always pleased to get the autographed book plates. Let's just tuck that in there. The next thing, we have a sticker in which it looks like we have a Bigfoot or a Sasquatch roasting a marshmallow by a campfire, which does seem like a squatchy sort of thing to do, so I approve of this artwork. They always seem to include stickers in these packages, so if you're a fan of stickers, they're usually ones that have pretty good artwork, and this is no exception. We're still not done though. There's more stuff coming out of here. The next item feels like a fridge magnet. It is indeed a fridge magnet. This one says Snack Attack, Nightworms at the Drive-In, and we see horror-themed beverages and popcorn and ice cream and hot dogs and such. That's a wonderful little thing. I'll probably stick that on the side of a filing cabinet. And let's see, is there anything else? That concludes our package for this month. So that's a pretty good haul. We've got some promising looking coffee. We've got some flat stuff, stickers and magnets and things. An autographed copy of a Joe Lansdale book. And a copy of this anthology. All of which seems very exciting and quite promising. Honestly, I really can't wait to dive into those books. In fact, I think I'm going to go dive into those books right now. So I'm going to sign off. Do remember to like, share, subscribe, ring the notification bell. Check down in the What's It so you can find purchase links to these. And as always, until next time, take care and stay scared.